So I bring you good tidings from Elaine and Oliver, the General Conference Directors for the Family Life Ministries Department all over the world. Family Life Sabbaths are supposed to be a time of celebration. But sadly, and I repeat, sadly, our homes, Seventh-day Adventist homes, have become places of sadness, places of pain, places where joy is the last word you find there. And so today, we'll be looking at an aspect of family life that affects even those who are not yet married, and that is communication in marriage. We're going to look at overcoming communication problems in marriage. Communication is the life wire of any human being. I've been married for 24 years. And I think I have some... Mama Emmanuel is wondering, what is he saying? 24? That's a child's play, I'm sure. Elder Cleo is... Elder Saidu, where is he? Okay. Where's Mama? Okay. They're all here. Where's Musa and Zila? They're younger. Okay. Sunday Bulus. Who is younger than you in this church? Any couple that is younger than you? Nyam? Okay, Nyam. You are the freshest. Who? Elder Michael. Okay, yes, you. You are the youngest. Yes. Our prayer as Christians is that all our marriages will thrive. They will flourish. They will thrive through thorns, through challenges. They will thrive through tears, through joy, and so on and so forth. And for those who are not married, what we're going to look at is free counseling. I'm giving you counseling free of charge. You're not paying me, but listen very well. Because I'm sure some of you who are in active relationships will also find this relevant. Overcoming problems of communication in marriage relationships. And let me, on the lighter note, I heard this last week, and I've been laughing over it. Somebody said that if you want to know a woman, if you want to know a woman's character, that you should watch the way she chews gum. That the way she chews gum will tell you her character. And the first thing that came to my mind, I have a friend who told me this, that whenever his wife is angry, he always knows it from the way she chews bubble gum. Anytime she's doing chash, 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 he knows it's time to do what? To retreat, to go and stay aside. That's an aspect of communication. He's able to understand his wife by a non-verbal activity, non-verbal action. So we're going to look at some problems that we have in communication in relationship. Where we took Tommy, can you go to the Bible verse? Where we took, okay, yes. Do you have mine? The one from, because I highlighted, I want them to see. Is it coming on? Okay, go back to the one okay, very good. It says, finally, brethren, whatsoever things are true, whatsoever things are honest, whatsoever things are just, whatsoever things are pure, whatsoever things are lovely, whatsoever things are of good report, if there be any virtue, and if there be any praise, think on these things. Philippians chapter 4, verse 8. Let me help you. It is verse 8, and it has 8 nuggets. So that anytime you want to memorize it, remember that the nuggets are 8. First of all, I want us to know that whatever we say, however we say it, usually comes from inside. It comes from within. It comes from our thoughts. So what God is giving us here is like a blueprint. If you memorize this and remember it very well, that it should guide the way you communicate, especially in your relationship with others. What you want to communicate, is it true? If it is not true, don't say it. What you want to communicate, is it honest? Then is it just? And then is it pure? Is it lovely? Is it of good report? Is it virtuous? Is it praiseworthy? These are things you ask yourself as you communicate. Okay. Little things, if not communicated well in relationships, can become big things that may become difficult to manage. I'll be using examples. Again, I want to beg my wife so that she doesn't feel bad, because there are some things I will say that sometimes when we go back home, she will tell me, why did you say that? But I am saying it because it is honest. This morning, I saw a carton full of dialogue magazines, Adventist ministries magazine. Yes. My wife has been doing a lot of cleanup in the house, and she got them. So she packed them in a carton. Plenty. So I came out, and she said, we're taking things to the church. I said, which things? She said, those magazines. I saw them last night, and I was so happy because I saw some magazines that I actually thought would be useful to me. So she said, we're taking them to church. I said, how? Did you tell me we're taking them to church? In my mind, I said, after all, they are mine. So how can you just carry them and then decide on your own that you're bringing them to church? And I said, no. I have seen some that are useful, that I want to use. So when I left, somewhere in my head, I was trying to process the conversation between me and my wife. And what came to my mind was this, that as little as that is, if not managed well, it can become a time bomb that will explode. So that we'll understand the import of communication. Anytime we talk about this, people would meet me and say, sir, but I don't know how to communicate. Listen, if you are here and you don't know how to communicate, better start learning. Particularly those of you who are not married. You must be intentional about learning how to communicate if you want to live with somebody other than yourself. Usually in relationships, we come from two different worlds. Whether twins marry twins, I don't know how to describe it, they are still different. And what that means is that the way I see things is not the same way my wife sees things. The fact that we stay together doesn't guarantee that we'll always look at things at the same level. For instance, my wife can pray for 2 hours. Me, I cannot pray for more than 5 minutes. And I'm sure at some point in time, she may be wondering, what kind of elder is this? But I'm happy that God has given her the spirit to understand that we are not the same. The way we like our houses to look like may not be the way our spouse wants the house to look like. I'm preparing your mind, those of you who are not yet married, that you would, what do you call them? These films we used to watch, when we, Cinderella, whatever beautiful girl you think, the moment you begin to live together as one, your ability to communicate will be put to test. And that's why I started by saying little things, very small things, if not communicated properly or well, can become big things that may become difficult to manage. So do you ever feel you're speaking a different language than your partner, even when you're speaking English? Elder Musa, yes, ba? Very good. Then you are not alone. It affects all of us. Communication mishaps are super common in relationships, and they can lead to all sorts of unnecessary drama. Let me give you another example. I've shared this before. This is true life story. I came back from work. I asked my wife, is there any food? Igana, I know you are not married, but can you attempt to give me an answer to this question? I asked my wife, is there any food? Please, be very honest.
Yes or no?
What did you say?
Yes or no?
God bless you. You are a church goer. Did you hear the answer? She said, yes or what? Do you know the answer my wife gave? Should I tell you? My wife, I remember it vividly because it pierced me. My wife said, what did you leave? Is there any food? Yes or no? But my wife said what? What did you leave? I'm sure if we were to analyze this in terms of discourse analysis, some of you will say my wife is right. Because you asked me, and if from her question it is actually discovered that I didn't leave anything, then she's right. Isn't it so? What the answer she gave me from her own point of view, if you analyze it and discover that truly I didn't leave anything, it means she's right. But from the perspective of Elder Abednego and Elder Musa, these are lawyers. We were watching, is it Judy, that white woman that and I noticed that if she asks you a question and you are doing, she will just say, look, yes or no. Now you see from the answer my wife gave me, if I was not an elder, or if I'm not a Christian, can you imagine the kind of chaos, the kind of battle, the kind of war that can lead to? And let me also tell you this. Are you aware that some people have gotten divorced because of issues as small, as tiny as this? Have you ever had to reconcile people that were fighting so much, not physical fighting, maybe a couple or people in relationship, and then at the end of everything, you now say, wait, you mean it's just because of this small thing? It was small when it was in the embryo, before the communication. But you see, one miscommunication can turn everything upside down. And that is why you need, like I said, I'm going to keep repeating it, you have to be intentional about knowing how to communicate. And for you as a believer, for you as a Christian, the Bible has already given you a blueprint of how you are supposed to communicate, what you are supposed to communicate. In Proverbs 18:13, it says, He who answers a matter before he hears it, it is folly and shame to who? To him. This is a principle that we should adopt. That before you hear a matter, do not, and some of us are like that. Somebody starts talking to you, before he even goes midway, you pose as if you know what he's supposed to say. And you don't even allow him to what? To finish. In some homes, that has landed some people a hot slap. Wait for somebody to finish talking before you talk. Then Proverbs 15 verse 1 says, a soft answer turns away wrath, but a harsh word stirs up anger. Then Proverbs 21 verse 9, this is very popular, particularly men like this, that it is better to live in a corner of the housetop, the roof, than in a house shared with a quarrelsome woman. What about a house shared with a quarrelsome man? This quarrelsome that is being talked of here is not physical. There are some people that are almost impossible to live with. There's nothing good that you do that is good to them. That's what the Bible is saying here. There are some marriages like that, where either the husband or the wife are in bondage because of the other spouse. They are quarrelsome. They don't see anything good in what you do. You take your money, you buy something for them, you give it to them, they criticize it. It is a gift, though. They deserve it. But they don't see anything good in what you do. So that's what the Bible tells us. So now let's quickly, what is communication? I want you to look at those pictures very well, the two pictures. One is a group of people. You can see, even from their faces, the ones on the left, that they are having a pleasant, cordial conversation. What about Evelyn and Madugu? Look at the way the man is standing. In fact, I'm feeling very sorry for him. If you look at these two contrasts, it should give you an idea of what we're talking about. So what is communication? I would want, where's Gabriel? I want to hear from a child, then I want to hear from an adult. Then you can see what, can you tell us what communication is, Gabriel? You or Michael, any one of you? Do you have an idea? Sorry, I picked you unannounced. Michael, you want to help him? What is communication? Okay, when you remember, just give me a thumbs up. Yes.
Communication is the activity of conveying information.
The activity of what? The activity of unveiling information, which means there's a point of not veiling yet. Unveiling, but it's a process of what? Opening up. What did you say? Information? Conveying information. Okay. Let me get another one. Yes? Yes, ma. No, you're an English student. Okay. Go ahead.
It's a means of exchanging informations, ideas, or feelings.
They all mentioned one thing. Conveying, unveiling, that's the process. But basically, communication involves three things. And as I describe them, you'll be able to understand. In communication, we have what we call an encoder. Then we have what we call a code. Then we have what we call a decoder. This may sound academic. We're not in GST 1111, but I'm going to explain it to a point, to a level where you understand. It means in communication, we have the messenger, we have the message, and then we have the receiver or the hearer. Okay. These are the basic components in any kind of communication. But listen, the higher you go in understanding communication, you discover that each of these components has smaller components that are very, very important. And what is often said in communication is this: if one of the components has a problem, then the process will also be problematic. If the decoder has a problem and the encoder passes the code, at the end result, there will still be a problem. So having said that, what are some of the reasons why communication breaks down? Why do we have communication breakdown? Number one, I'm going to list them because my objective is to focus on one, only one, which I feel is the most important. So these are some reasons why communication breakdowns occur. The first one is we have different ways in which we communicate. We have different ways in which we communicate. If you ask, who do I use now? Okay, let me use Nehemiah. If you were to ask most people in this church, they will tell you that Nehemiah is a quiet person. Am I right? He's a quiet person. Isn't it so? That is the way we perceive of him. If you were to ask most people in this church, Uncle Cleo, he's a bit, he doesn't like talking too much. He talks, but he doesn't like talking all. If you were to ask most people, Elder Madugu, he makes too much noise. He talks. Isn't it so? These are different. So this is very important. Whoever you're staying with, whoever you're relating with, it is very important to appreciate that difference. I once asked, is there ever a time Mama Yemen gets angry? She looks for me, even as a child. Elder is laughing. That is the way I perceive of her. We are made differently. You see, I'm taking time to explain this because if you don't understand this, you always assume that people should think like you. And it's a major problem in relationships. So we have different communication styles. Some people express and interpret messages in particular ways, while others, for instance, there's some partners may be direct, straightforward. Like me. If I say, is there food? I expect yes or what? No. If you start going around, I start becoming agitated. My wife sometimes, she likes explaining too much. And then sometimes she likes, we come back from work, both of us are tired, but she'll be gisting about the office. Me, my mind is on the food in the kitchen. That is, we're different. It took me a long time to appreciate that. And when I did, I noticed we started living more peacefully. When I ask for food and I don't see food, I say, God, give me more patience. So I'll just go and sit down in the corner. I'll be checking my phone, but my mind is where? And I will say, God, help me not to open my mouth. We're growing. And as we grow, as we understand each other more, it helps us to have better communication. Then another factor that causes breakdown in communication, and this one has to do with people who are in a relationship, and then maybe one of them, you have issues in the past that you've not resolved. Lingering issues that haven't been properly addressed, they can resurface. And they complicate current communication and they foster resentment. Then another issue, the third one, is stress and external pressures. Life challenges, such as work stress, financial strain, or family obligations. My wife spent almost the whole of yesterday working, packing books, unpacking books, doing this and doing that. And I had once something very sweet I wanted to tell her. But when I saw her face, in fact, even the way she left her hair, I said, talk. If I talk now, she will not appreciate it because she's stressed. Most women, they are cooking, they are taking care of children, and so on and so forth. And let me also plead with men. Let us understand this more. Because I have seen that in so many homes, this has caused crisis. A woman is walking. All a man is thinking of is when she finishes, for him to come and hold her. And when she doesn't respond, it becomes what? A problem. So it is good to appreciate that life challenges will definitely affect the way we communicate. Then number 4, which is what I'm going to dwell on more, is lack of active listening. In fact, for me, this is the heart of the matter. Because if we're able to listen very well in communication, you discover that we'll understand more and we'll be able to respond more. Then we have avoiding difficult conversations. There are some conversations that are difficult. Let me give you an example. You're going out with a girl. You're not working. And you begin to insinuate that you want to marry her. Meanwhile, in her mind, the issue of that lack of work is what is bothering her. You're talking about marriage, and she's talking, bros, waiting will go chop now. Have you noticed that most guys, they will just dodge that question? It's a difficult conversation. And if you don't deal with it, it will keep resurfacing. Then we also have assumptions and expectations. You assume that what your partner means without clarification or having unrealistic expectations, that this can create a gap between reality and perception. Then we also have, the last but not the least, failure to express needs and desires. Some of us, we just talk, but we don't communicate. There are things inside us that need to come out. We don't say them. We just be peppering them on top. We're told that if you don't learn how to express your needs and your desires very well to whoever you're dealing with, it can also be a problem. My wife is always accusing me that I'm not organized. My shoe will be there, my book will be there, but she's telling me the truth. And she's telling me what is inside her. And instead of appreciating what she's telling me, subconsciously, my mind says, okay, look at her very well. You also find something that she's doing that is not correct. And God help me, I discovered that whenever my wife combs her hair, the hair I'll see some. So I now said, okay, it's payback time. So I'll see it, I'll just pass, as if I didn't see it. Then later on when she comes back, I will point her to it. Haba. Is it right? So I want us to focus on only one. How can we overcome this? That's the one I chose. Lack of active listening. God has been dealing with me concerning this lately. Since I got a new boss, my director, who is also a reverend father, God has used him to teach me a lesson about this, listening. I didn't know that I was not a good listener until I started working under him. He's a person that wants 110% of your attention whenever he's talking to you. He's a counselor. And how did I know that he was very observant? I shared this on one of my daily encouragers. I didn't know that anytime we were having a meeting, because as a secretary, I take minutes. He noticed that I'm writing and I'm working on my phone, all at the same time. So he didn't tell me anything until we came for a meeting one day. And in the middle of the meeting, he just stopped the meeting and said, Ima, you're not with us. I said, I'm with you, sir. He said, okay, what did I just say? And somehow, I said it. He said, no. I noticed that consistently, you write and check your phone. You write and then you check your phone. He said, whatever it is on that phone, please, for the sake of this meeting, sacrifice. He did that to me twice. I didn't allow him to do it to me the third time. The third time we were coming for a meeting, I just put my phone on flight mode. And he taught me a lesson. Do you know that in our homes, some of the problems that we have, or even in our relationship, have arisen largely because we don't listen? In the morning, you're going out, your wife tells you something. It's very important though. You say, okay, I'll do it. And then you go. In the evening, you come back. And she's like, where is that thing? And then you say, what did you say? And she's like, I told you. Did you? Yes, I did. I told you. But because I was not listening, I didn't really understand what she meant. And do you know that it's also a picture of our relationship with God? We open the Bible a lot, but we hardly listen to what God is telling us in the Bible. No wonder it affects our relationships. So active listening is a cornerstone of good communication, which is overlooked. When you don't actively listen to your partner, it's easy to miss the nuances of what they are saying. This failure to truly hear and understand can lead to misunderstandings, hurt feelings, and resentment. You might think you're listening while you're actually planning your next response or thinking about something else entirely, which means you are not fully engaged with your partners. I want us to look at this. Can you go to the next slide, please? I want us to see what the Bible says, and then what some speakers, some communication specialists also say. In Proverbs, James chapter 1, verse 19, it's very popular. It says, know this, my beloved brothers. Let every person be quick to hear, slow to speak, and then slow to anger. Then Proverbs 10, verse 19 says, when words are many, sin is not absent. But he who holds his tongue is what? Is wise. I listened to a sermon by Barry Black, the former chaplain. Is he still a chaplain of the U.S. Senate? He was talking about this, and he said that, have we noticed that when you go for a meeting, or when you go to where people are talking, and you're quiet, maybe because you don't know what to say, that people, after a while, they begin to look at you as if you are very wise. And it's true. When you are quick with words, you are prone to go and misfire. The one I love most is this, by Stephen Covey. He says, listen with the intent to understand, not to reply. Most of us, we listen before the person even finishes talking. We already have our reply. When somebody says something and you don't understand, you ask, what did you say? You ask because you want to what? You want to understand. Your boyfriend comes to your house and there's a neighbor. He's your neighbor, but he's your friend. But your boyfriend doesn't like seeing you with him. And he tells you, sorry, that look, that boy that I don't like seeing him. It behoves on you to explain to him that he's your neighbor and you grew up together. If he says it again, it means to him it is important. Because in somewhere in your mind you say, but he should know now. He should know. He doesn't know. It behoves on you to explain to him. So whenever we're listening, we should listen with the intent to understand and not to reply. Then Epictetus says this, that God gave us 2 ears. We have 2 ears and 1 mouth. So that we can listen twice as much as we what? We speak. Now let's admit it. Listening is not easy. Okay, it's not easy, to be very honest. In fact, it's a virtue. I read an interview on Pastor Adeboye, the founder of Redeem, and somebody had this to say about him, that he has never met in his life a person that listens more than that man. You will talk. He will ask you, have you finished? Or there's more you want to say. He can listen for 1 hour. And because he's listening, as he's listening, he's processing what you're saying. He's able to give you an answer that is apt. Most of us do not have good responses because we don't listen. So, how can you be an active listener? I'll leave us with the following. Number one, to be an active listener, the first thing is that you should be present. Not just physically. You should be present as the person is talking to you. The person, do you know that oftentimes when people are talking and you're not listening, do you know that they know? They know. So be present. As the person is talking, let the person know that you are listening. Then secondly, show that you are listening through your body language. My wife is talking to me, and I'm cutting grass. She's here. She's talking to me. Well, it's good that I'm cutting grass. But I'm cutting grass, she's here, and I'm moving. I'm leaving her. She's there. She's still talking. I'm cutting grass, and I'm moving. Am I really there? No. Then, and this is very important, that we should defer, when you're listening, suspend judgment. Most of us, as we are listening, we have already formed an opinion about what we want to say. Then next, that you should ask questions to clarify what is being said to you. What did you say? You said I should buy meat? Yes. I said you should buy meat. How many kilos? She said 1 kilo. So it has registered in my head. My wife wants me to buy 1 kilo of what? Of meat. It is registered. Because I have asked questions to clarify. Sometimes, I have not even allowed him to what? To get to 5 steps. I am already 10 steps ahead of him. And we do that a lot. It affects communication. Do you know that possibly, by the time I let him finish, instead of going left, where there is danger, and he has seen the danger, I will go right, and that will save my life. It happens even in our marital homes. Then, last but not the least, pay attention to non-verbal cues. Non-verbal means the things that are not spoken. In fact, they carry more messages than the things that are spoken. Sometimes somebody is talking to you. He notices that you're not listening. You just keep quiet. And the next thing he will do, he will give you a gaze. He will just say, Harareka. He gives you a gaze. That the message person is more than the one that you open his mouth to talk. Always look out for the non-verbal cues. Jacob Morgan, I will share this on the church platform. It's important. He has given us a graphic 5-way plan of how to practice active listening. And he used the word build. Now it is acronym, because for each letter, B stands for body language. That how you stand and present yourself sends a message. Good posture means you are focusing your attention on the person you are engaging with. For some of us, they are talking to us, so we just turn our face like this. Like, finish what you are saying, and allow me to do what? Allow me to go. That is not good. Your body language is very important. Then U stands for understanding. Aim to truly understand what is being said. Don't just stand there and nod your head and then realize later that you have no idea what you just talked about. Then I stands for interrupting. Interrupting other people stops the flow of the conversation and makes it seem like what you have to say is more important than what the other person is saying. And honestly, most people don't like this. When they are talking to you and you are making it look to them as if what you are telling them is less important than what they will tell you, it demeans them and it affects conversation. Then L stands for look at the person in the eyes. You know, if you are lying, it's difficult to look at somebody in the eyes, but I think it's a mechanism that God has given us. That you should look at the person in the eyes when you talk to them. It's something we must learn to practice. And then finally, don't judge. Don't judge people. Instead, put yourself in their shoes. This is empathy, which is one of the most important skills a leader can have. Then I leave you with this picture, particularly the men. Look at the picture very well. That is me with my phone in my house. Is he listening to her? Is the husband listening to the wife? But can he hear her? There's a difference between hearing and listening. Very, very important. In this age of this device, the handset, the mobile phone, it has affected a lot of homes negatively. Some of us, when our team is playing ball and we're watching on our phones, we don't want anybody to disturb us. Even when they are telling us that the house is on fire, you don't want to listen because the devil has warped your mind into an addiction that can destroy your home. So I conclude by asking this question. From all that I've mentioned, which are the hot spots in your own? Yours may be different from mine. But for each of us, for every one of us here, we have a red flag that is affecting our relationship. Somebody once said that so many wars would have been averted in this world if people had learned to communicate well. The same goes for our homes. I pray that God will He will give us godly communication in our homes that will bring salvation to the glory and honor of His name, in Jesus' name.